Oh, we're live. Cool. All right.
Ooh.
So we are live, guys. What's going on out there today? Brent Abel, webtennis.com, otherwise known as Brent Abel, webtennis.com. And that, no, here it is. I got to point this way.
Yeah, you got to go the opposite direction.
I got to go the opposite direction. Right. Actually, it's the great Jeff Jackledge. Not formally, currently.
Currently what? I'm waiting now on pins and needles. I'm what?
Currently playing out of the state of California.
Yeah.
For a while, he was playing out of his little
state
mini
of confusion.
That's right.
State of confusion.
That's right. And actually, we decided today that we needed to do another little recording, some of the coaching thing, because today's live version of what we were trying to do got a little off. Didn't quite. I may have to do some heavy editing on that just to try to make it look normal. Anyway,
we had some technical difficulties.
Yes. So, all right. So as we finished up today, we got back on the phone. We were kind of tinkering around with the tech part, and I just convinced Jeff. I said, "Look, since you're not doing anything right now, since you're on the coast of California, Central California, yeah, here we go. Oh boy.
Wait a minute. Let it focus in. There you go.
Pardon me.
Sorry.
Pardon me. Yeah, you ought to apologize. Of course, I guess I could turn mine and never mind.
Yeah.
I go with the grass court thing.
You know, when you point at someone else, 3 fingers are pointing back at you.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. Always right. So guys, listen, what we want to talk about in this recorded video is what I've got up there. The banner says the mental posture between points. And look, there's a lot of coaching saying that, the way you walk, the whole physical part of what you do out there is really important. And I agree with that. I really, really do agree with that. And I guess it all starts with the mindset, right, Jeff? It all starts with the mental part, that if you're telling yourself stuff, okay, no more coffee, please, honey. If you're telling yourself the wrong stuff, and we're talking about what happens at the end of a point, is that your mental posture can actually sell that opponent or those opponents on wanting to buy more of your negativity. And
right.
You don't want to do that, man.
Is that what you want to sell today?
So let's take the example where you've worked the point and you've got yourself up to net and you got the guy falling down in the alley over there. The entire court is completely wide open. All you got to do is no volley technique required. Not one of the, was it the 18 different volleys, 17 different?
I think it was 17.
17 different volleys required. It's actually, you probably could take the handle of your racket, flip it around real quick and just kind of bunt it in there.
Bunt it over there.
Yeah. But assuming that you took one of the 17 volleys and you missed it, I've seen a lot of players, heck, Jeff, I've done it myself way too many times where I've just gone crazy. I mean, the mental posture's just gone off the rails. And the guy over there, not only has he won the point, feels pretty good about that, but now he loves the fact that, wow, Brent, you've just made yourself look like a complete buffoon out here. I wonder how I could do more of that, because that's even more fun than the match.
Right.
So, and look, I practice with a couple guys here, and I've actually tried to help them. I'm just saying, look, every time you lose a point, there seems to be this editorial that's going on, which is, well, if there was maybe a person out here watching, which there never is, so there must be an imaginary friend somewhere in the sidelines where the running thing is, oh my God, how did I miss that? Because I never, ever miss that. Yes, you do. You've missed that thing before. What are you talking about?
You said that yesterday.
That's right. So there's something to be said about if you're a competitive player who wants to get better then you got to stop this real negative mental posture that you bring to the party when you've just chunked something or when you've just done whatever that just pisses you off, because it kind of tells your brain, I'm not sure what it tells your brain, but it doesn't help you do what you don't want to do the next time, which is let's just forget that thing. Let's just forget that one. I mean, you've always talked about monitor and adjust.
Right.
And maybe the monitor on this one would be, I've got the guy down and falling down the alley over there. I got the whole wide open court. Why don't I not pull out 1 to 17 volleys? Let me pull out the one where all I do is put the racket up behind where the ball's going to be and just bunt.
Right.
So
out in the middle of the court. Right. It is a kind of a one thing, you said earlier, posture, the physicality of posture in reference and how it actually can affect your mental posture. So there's a TED talk, I can't think of the gal's name, who talks about the physicality of what good posture and the chemical reactions that actually happen physically in your body when you carry yourself with good posture. There's a physical chemical reaction that happens in your body, and it's positive. When you carry yourself upright, you carry yourself in good posture, you don't bow your head, you don't mope, none of that stuff. When you up, there is a chemical reaction that's going on to the positive in your body, which obviously then that can lead to maybe mentally being a little bit more positive as well. What I found is that, and I did it in Oakland and I did it in Vegas last week, is when the guys hit a good ball, I just immediately just say, that's a great shot. And what it did was it put me already past the pissing and moaning part of my own, like, okay, there's no one else on the planet who is more aware that I just handed the guy, a teed up ball with an approach shot that wasn't intentional. The way it ended up off the strings, I didn't mean to do that, but that's where it ended up. And what? I don't need an accountant. I don't need video recording. I don't need, instant playback to know I dished up the duck. So I also don't need to know, I don't need to reprimand myself for that. I'm aware of it as it instantly came off my racket. I know that I dished it up. Or, you know what? I hit something that I felt was like, hey, it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. And the guy he hits a dinger. So what I started doing is just immediately, hey, great shot, Jeff. Great shot, Tom. Whatever. And just what I found is it just moved me past that moment. And then I just immediately got back to it and went, okay, let's walk back slowly, took the breath, and back to work. Let's get back to work. But yeah, I don't want to feed. Again, if you were selling this guy something and, you're talking and you dropped your pen while you were explaining something, would you have a fit? Like, oh yeah, I really like to, God damn it, what? How I never drop my pen. Oh my God, I probably cracked it. Oh God. Okay, where was I? Right? The guy think you're a lunatic. And yeah, I really don't care what you're selling, dude. I think I'll pass today.
I think I'll pass on this one. This is how you react when you drop the pen.
But it's not silly. I mean, yeah. That's a silly analogy, but it is kind of like in normal life. You're walking through the grocery store.
You brought up something that's sort of interesting. This is slightly off topic, but it's actually something I've experienced where I've been on the dark side and then I finally realized it's whatever. But you're right. I mean, sometimes the guy hits a great shot or it's a lucky shot or, you chunk one and your response to the guy is, hey, nice shot, Jeff. And Jeff just doesn't even respond. There's no reciprocation like, hey, thanks, man. you know,
Right.
or like, yeah, I got a little fortunate on that. I was definitely trying to go up the line, got early, and you know, hit the best cross court
Right.
shot of my life. Or,
Right.
you know, I was trying to roll that forehand, you know, and I shanked it as perfect topspin lob over you. And you say, oh, yeah, great shot. And there's no reciprocation. Well, there've been times when that's kind of pissed me off. Like the guy did not acknowledge, first of all, that I was complimentary.
Right.
And so so for me, I guess for me, I'm better when the guy hits a great shot and I just kind of don't even say anything. I just kind of raise my hand, just go, and just don't even say anything, just go, yeah, or give him a kind of a thumbs up, but turn around because I don't want to engage. I want it to be done.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about that either. I'm talking about like, you know, boom, I come and make an approach and the guy hits a dinger down the line as a passing shot. I'm going for the ball and I go, yeah, that's a great ball. And I'm already headed back to the baseline. So I agree with you. This isn't a, you know, let's be friends and sing Kumbaya over the forehand you just hit. I mean, you know, that's not what I'm getting at here at all. It's really, it is a selfish technique, but it helps you stay in a positive mode and let's just move on.
Yeah.
It's possible that, you know, the guy's going to hit an occasional dinger. You know, I mean, I played a guy in the first round and 4-0 plus. I didn't win every point. I beat the guy 0-0, but I didn't win every point. I chunked some shots, and it's like, what's the end game there? And what you really have to look at, I think, as a player is, does this move the meter for me playing better on the very next point? Does it move the meter for me actually being focused enough to realize that I've now been passed 3 times off of this point construction? Are you aware that maybe you should stop beating that dead horse and maybe you're feeding the guy what he likes? But if you're pissed off because now you immediately go to, oh man, I definitely got to hit that approach shot bigger or blah, blah, blah. I always hit it bigger, and you're beating the crap out of yourself. You don't have the presence of mind to realize maybe I need to move that approach shot straight up the middle of the court instead of getting it out in the wings where he seems to like to have a little room to swing the racket.
Yeah.
So you blind yourself unintentionally to the realities of what's going on and being to make clear real-time assessments on how to make adjustments, monitor and adjust to change the pattern slightly, or to completely eliminate that, or say, you know what, I need to approach this differently. I need to hit my approach differently, or maybe I need to back off trying to force the approach, and maybe I need to just hit another really good solid, rally ball and hope for something a little bit shorter next time. Maybe I need to temper my eagerness to want to get to the net and do something. And that was, that's what allowed me to win Vegas. I didn't have, the forehand was on walkabout, the big forehand. Didn't mean I missed every forehand. I was fine just hitting rally balls, but I had to like, okay, we got to go 1 or 2 more balls. And then I got what was necessary. It was a little bit shorter in the court, definitely more pressure on coming in. And it was just, it's, again, the monitor and adjust of it. But if you're mentally, again, just wigging out over the fact that you missed a ball and that, and again, I'm no saint, I've had my times on the court, but as, moving along here and getting back into tournament tennis, it's just, there's no payoff. There's no payoff. There's no reward.
Well, and there is no payoff for you in terms of, I believe that the more ticked off you get is your initial reaction to either missing an easy ball, the guy hits a lucky shot, or, you come in and the guy plays a brilliant shot, not even luck, just kind of a brilliant shot. And if your reaction is to get pissed, I just don't think it helps you. As you say, it doesn't help you continue to sort of, if there needs to be a workaround, because as you said, your bigger forehand was not around. So you had to, or is there maybe a little something I need to do different with this guy? You don't go into those. There's just no. It's just not happening.
You're looking through the wrong lens.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is it just pumps up the opponent. They just love it. God, what else could I do to piss this guy off? Because this is actually more fun than I might lose the match, but dang, this is fun to watch this guy go crazy over there.
Right.
So
and also here's a just again a kind of a passing thought too. The other thing is that when you acknowledge a good shot, again, irrelevant, and again, if you're getting pissed because the guy doesn't acknowledge that you said it, again, that's on you. That's not on him. That's on you. And maybe he's using that technique because he's finding another way to get under your skin.
true.
Right. So say your piece. Hey, great ball. Go back. I don't need my opponent to tell me I just hit an ESPN highlight winner. I don't need that. But if he does, I just, because that's the nature of who I am. I'm not going to sit there and go, I'm not going to respond but there are players who are going to try and use that as an avenue to get under your skin a little bit. That's just who they are as players. Doesn't make them a bad guy. It just makes them, they're walking a tight edge there. But what was I getting at? But what it does is it frees you up at that point when you acknowledge that he hit a good shot, she hit a good shot, and they came up with the answer, and you just say, that was a great shot. You take the responsibility of having to justify what you did or having to fix what you did. You can actually, again, move into a state in your head that says, that's the second time that's happened off of that pattern. Maybe I either need to hit a bigger approach. I need to hit it farther out to the edge. I need to tighten up my margin on that and go a little bit a higher risk. Or maybe I just need to find a safer target to go big at, or I need to change the pattern completely, right? I mean, you can't get there if you're thinking the responsibility of immediately poor swing technique is the flaw. I mean, you're just blind to anything other possibility that might actually be the answer. Might be staring you in the face, and the problem is that you're worried about. Oh God, I couldn't. God, normally I just
I hope my imaginary friend is out there somewhere listening to this, because I want to make sure that I impress upon that person. I normally don't screw this up like this. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
So
I mean, literally in Vegas, I would set up patterns and kind of go, okay, like, and I think I mentioned it last week when we had the talk, is like, I test it again. It's like, okay, maybe it's here on this one. And I'd bang a ball 2 feet wide. Like, nope. Okay. I would just stand there kind of baffled. I wasn't angry with myself. It was just like, God,
yeah. I think the message today is, don't give your opponent, don't boost their confidence because you chunk an easy one or because they hit a great shot. Don't boost their confidence by you getting ticked off or by you showing any kind of, just be done with that point. And look, I mean, I've seen this when I play in, a couple of the top guys in my age group. And this is back in the day when I was starting to knock on their door. And, now I'm in the quarters against the number 2 guy, and I'm watching this guy, and I just, I hit a really good shot, and he didn't expect it. And yet there's just nothing. It's like, what? Are you kidding me? I mean, come on, man. Look at what I just did. Are you not going to go, hey, wow, that was incredible? You're not going to, or when they miss an easy one, a top guy, and they don't go, oh my God, how could I do this against him?
I'm getting nothing. I just hit the best shot of my life. It split the atom as it went across the net.
That's right.
And the wormhole opened up. It was amazing, right?
Right.
And I'm getting nothing. It's like Bill Murray in Caddyshack. Like he's going to stiff me. I said, hey, Lama, how about a little something for the effort, right?
Right.
I mean, I'm getting nothing, right? And so again, and this circles back to me, and we've talked tons about this, but I think it's always a present tense self-check. How much of your ego and pride is involved in your reaction to your opponent hitting a winner or just hitting good balls, and you hitting winners and or chunking a ball or making a mistake or hitting a softer ball, and they come up with a passing shot. When you can start to move yourself out of that, and again, I love having a great day on the court, and it makes me feel puffed up, and it feels good. And man, it just felt like cake today. It was wonderful, right? And it feeds your ego, it feeds your pride. It's wonderful. But in the heat of battle, if your ego and pride is this thing that's always being, what's the word I'm looking for? If your ego and pride is always being the first recipient of your mental thought about what the hell just happened, you're going to have a long day on the court. You are battling with a different part of your functionality in terms of mental acuity, your subconscious, all these other things. We're not going to dive, we're not going to get down that rabbit hole, but you've got to figure out a way to have you've got to find a way to put your, ego, in a mayonnaise jar, and pride in a mayonnaise jar on the day of competition. And this is why it's so difficult. I'm going to circle back to something we've been talking about now for a few weeks. And this is why it's so difficult for players to get better, even though they're playing practice sets, because they're looking at the score of the practice set as the barometer for how they did today, instead of actually being present and go, you know what? I set up so many good points today, and I'm now swimming in uncharted waters because I've never been in a situation where I've had that many finish balls on my racket, and I couldn't contain myself. I couldn't stay calm through that moment. And you are strategically ruining your opportunity to actually move up and get better, because the score, which is tied to your ego, is this primary thing that's just blocking you from being able to do anything positive on a court.
Yeah.
There you go. How about that?
That's really good. No, that's great. And I know for me is when I played my best matches against the very top guys, I've been able, for whatever reason on that day, to keep my emotional skill level range.
Yeah, that's a good
really small. I mean, I've just, even when I've hit the greatest shot of my life,
you got to be moving it like this. It can't be doing this. You can't be living in that. Yeah.
I mean, you look at the guys who play someone like a John Isner or an Ivo Karlovic, and you can see it. You can see where the guys go out there with this mindset of, well, this is going to be a little rough today. There's going to be zero rhythm. If I win today, it's probably because I get lucky in the tiebreaker, and because I'm not going to break this guy's serve. And yet you see other guys go out there and they're just so frustrated that they can't get that. And the guy on a break point, he comes up with a second serve that bounces into the third row. Right. They're flailing around. So look, I mean, that's at the top end. But I think for the rest of us, we experience the same kind of thing too, where some days you go out there and there's just the rhythm thing is just not happening. And it could be the weather, it could be the wind, it could be the cold, it could be something that's happening. I don't know. Could be that dude over there 3 courts away in the tournament who's just going crazy, and you're going, God, could you shut up? And but the message I want to get across today, guys, is that don't give your opponent an additional layer of immediate confidence by you being a little baby at the end of the point. Whether you chunk the easy one or the guy got lucky going up the line a little bit early, out in front, cross-court winner, it's reality. It happens.
Right, right. And for me, I do my best not to get into the gamesmanship thing, but there is a point though where you have to protect yourself in certain situations. So you can't allow the emotional crap from the other side of the net to get on your side of the net. It's like the minute it starts to creep on my side, now I have to push back a little bit and do that. So if I see a guy who's going nutty and he just, I can't believe this or that, when he hits a dinger, he's not getting anything from me. Because I know he's living in this state that's like fragile. And so if his ego is like this bucking bronco out in front of him right now, it's like, and so they, you know, they're going to be waiting. They want something. And, sorry, not today.
Not today.
You're going to have to do this on your own.
Yeah.
You know,
Let's see. In fact,
nothing.
let's see how deep we can take you. Let's see how far down
Yeah.
that thing we can go.
Yeah. So are you giving, you know, not just because you're taking yourself out of the play mentally and emotionally, but are you again allowing your opponent who might be very well versed in understanding what the heck's going on, and you're giving them this opportunity to poke at you, and the poking might be so subtle you don't even realize it, that he's fueling your fire.
Good.
So, you know,
Good.
anyway.
All right. I think that's it.
All
I
right.
think we're done. Mike just came back with the dogs, and so I think the
Boom.
house is about to turn crazy.
Right on.
Yeah. Guys, any questions, comments, remarks down below in the comments section, wherever you are? We're going to post this all over the interwebs and, you know, everywhere.
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 Billboards, it's going to be great.
Yeah, that's right. Electronic billboards, banners behind airplanes. If you have any questions, do that, or you can shoot me an email, brent@webtennis.com. You can find Jeff over jeff@jacklich365.com. If you're in Northern California, Central California, maybe even Southern California, or I would say anywhere within the Pacific time zone, you can get in touch with Jeff. He's got a private court, Lafayette, California. Tell her to behave. Yeah.
There you go.
So, guys, thanks for hanging out with us today. And guess Jeff will have to do this again.
I can't wait.
Guys, get out there today. Help someone else have a spectacular day, and we will do this again.
Right on.